Standard Operating Guidelines, Sections 107-1, responding to motor vehicle accidents. The response plan for CCFPD and the ambulance service is as follows. All calls come into 911 and the ambulance service, and they request CCFPD. Jeff Central will notify ambulance service along with dispatching CCFPD to all motor vehicle incidents with injuries within our area. CCFPD will respond with 2 pumpers from the appropriate fire station and along with fire personnel and officers. Respond unless disregarded by another officer unless otherwise requested. CCFPD command in charge will terminate any additional responding units unless otherwise needed. Personnel responding as such should remain as fire personnel unless otherwise needed or requested by fire command. Our personnel respond to the incident as first responders should remain the same until the EMS incident command is terminated or unless otherwise directed. The primary function of the CCFPD and our personnel is to stage at the pumper, location, and fire command. We are to do fire suppression hose applications, battery disconnect, lighting, and roping, stabilize the vehicle, extrication, assist ambulance personnel, perform landing zone operations, or a standby. All personnel shall be trained in basic extrication procedures in order to use the tools. CCFPD will always be in full protective gear while on scene. 108-1, Civilians Riding in Fire Apparatus. While the policy states that civilians are not to ride on our apparatus, on June 17, 2002, the Board of Directors voted to allow citizens to ride on an apparatus as long as there would be a personal vehicle following the apparatus. The personal vehicle will remove all non-firefighters from the fire truck before it can respond to a call. There shall be no non-firefighter in our district vehicles during a response at any time. Section 109.01, Station Residency Policy. Policy, the station resident is a valuable asset to the district, and in that the presence of the residents allows a more rapid response to our emergency situations within our district. The position is also a valuable asset to the individual filing the position in that he or she is provided a rent and utility-free place to reside. In order for the position to work effectively and to mutually benefit all of the concerned, there must be a clear understanding of the requirements and responsibilities of the station resident position. The following rules and regulations are designed to provide the information necessary to form that understanding. Procedure. These rules and regulations apply to all stations which have permanent facilities available for station residents. Should a discrepancy be noted due to variations in the station design or requirements, the fire chief shall be final authority concerning the discrepancy noted. Station quotas. Each station will have established a maximum number of residents to be assigned based on space and facility limitations by the fire chief and station captain. The fact that a maximum number has been established is not an indication that there must be a maximum number of residents assigned. Station criteria. Only qualified personnel will be allowed to fill the position of station resident. Criteria that must be met as a minimum requirement are: the applicant must be a member of the district and must have been a member for at least 1 year. The applicant must possess a current and valid Missouri driver's, operator's, or chauffeur's license. The applicant must have a satisfactory driving record. This will be determined by the operator's record checked, background check, and personal observation. The applicant must be qualified to operate all district apparatus assigned to the station for which he is making application in accordance with all applicable district policies prior to application. The applicant must have attended and successfully passed a recognized first responder or level higher in medical training, and the applicant must be willing to follow the guidelines set forth in these sections. Note, the fire chief may waive the requirements set forth in 1 and 4 and or 5 if it is deemed to be in the best interest of the fire district. The selection process. Notice of position openings will be made in a manner so that the district personnel are aware of the openings. All qualified district personnel are urged to apply. All applications will be submitted in writing to the fire chief prior to the deadline indicating in the notes of position opening. The written notice of position opening will indicate the information required in the written application. Applicant interviews will be held at the discretion of the station officers and the fire chief. In the absence of oral interviews, selections will be submitted to the fire chief for final approval. The fire chief must approve all residents, either permanent or temporary. There will be no exceptions. Station resident assignment. The fire district shall have full authority in determining to which station a resident is assigned. The fire district shall also have the authority to transfer a resident from one station to another. Daily schedules. As it is the responsibility of residents to make themselves available in the station as much as possible to facilitate a timely response of the apparatus, the station officers may schedule during periods for residents during which the residents may be in the station. These periods shall be scheduled and not conflict with work or school schedules. A resident may trade duty with another resident in order to obtain qualified firefighter to stand by in their absence, with the approval of the station officer. Rental payments. There are no rental payments expected by the fire district. In exchange for the rent and utility-free residence, the resident is expected to comply with the rules and regulations and terms of this lease. Laundry facilities. If washer and dryer are provided by the fire district, please promptly remove clothing from the machine. Do not use tints or dyes. Do not place articles containing foam, rubber, or similar textured materials in the dryers. Please report any malfunctions of these machines to the station officer. Discretion should be used when laundering protective clothing. Badly soiled gear will leave residue and may affect the next user's clothing. Entrances, hallways, windows, living area, and kitchen. Entrances, hallways, stairwells, sidewalks, and porches shall not be obstructed by the resident or used for any purpose other than ingress and egress. Bicycles, motorcycles, and other vehicles shall not be stored in the fire station without express consent of the fire chief. Personal vehicles may be placed in the fire station for maintenance purposes pursuant to fire district rules and regulations. Lawns and other common areas are to be kept clear of vehicles and other personal belongings. No signs, clothing, sheets, towels, etc. shall be hung from the windows or any other place where they would be visible to the public. Nothing shall be thrown out of the windows. Residents must observe care not to leave windows and doors open during inclement weather. Residents shall be held liable for any damage to paint, plaster, cabinets, walls, windows, carpets, floors, or any part of the living area. Residents shall not cause any lock or hook to be placed upon any door or window without the consent of the fire chief. If any additional lock or safety device is approved by the fire chief, it shall be installed and remain the property of the fire district. No exterior alterations will be permitted, including clotheslines, mailboxes, greenhouses, doghouses, fencing, or screening of any kind. No plastic or any other covering may be placed over the windows on the exterior of the building. All areas that are open to the public view or used as living areas by residents shall be maintained by those residents in such a manner as to present a favorable impression to the general public. Station officers shall monitor and control day-to-day maintenance of these areas. Sleeping areas must be inspected at any time in the presence of the resident that would not disturb the normal sleeping hours of the resident. The fire chief shall be the final authority on the adequacy of maintenance for all areas. Cleaning supplies. It is the responsibility of the resident to provide cleaning supplies for stove, ovens, shower stalls, dishes, clothing, and other personal items. The fire district will provide cleaning supplies for floors, stools, windows, and other items commonly used by all personnel. The fire district will not provide oxidizing or deodorizing agents. The fire chief shall maintain final authority in this area. Disturbance of other residents. All radios, television sets, phonographs, etc. will be turned down to a level of sound that does not reasonably disturb any other resident. No band instruments shall be played in the station at any time. Residents and residents' guests shall at all times maintain order in the facility and at all places in the facility, and shall not make or permit any loud or improper noises or otherwise disturb other residents, firefighters, or guests. Personal parties will not be allowed. Unnecessary damage. Residents are responsible when leaving the facility at any time for closing all windows, closing all water faucets, turning off all electrical appliances not in use, turning off all non-essential lights, and securing and locking all entrance doors. Residents will be held responsible for any physical damage to the interior, exterior fixtures, or furnishings of the fire station due to acts that they or their guests maliciously inflict. Disposal. If the station is equipped with a garbage disposal, make sure the cold water is flowing through prior to the disposal being turned on and the waste inserted. Allow the water to flow after the waste is ground up to permit flushing of the traps. Banana peels, cigarettes, filters, celery, corn cobs, corn husks, bones, metal, and glass shall not be inserted into the disposal. If repairs must be made as a result of improper use, the cost of repairs shall be billed to the resident. Trash. All trash should be placed only in containers provided. Do not dispose of trash in any other area. Residents shall dispose of their trash and garbage regularly and as they may attract insects and rodents in addition to being unsightly. Refrigerators. If the refrigerator in the station is not frost-free, it requires defrosting regularly. Do not use any sharp instrument to pick or scrape off ice. When defrosting a refrigerator, such instruments can very easily puncture the coil, causing a loss of refrigerant and requiring expensive replacement. Such damage shall be billed to the resident. The contents of the refrigerator should be edible. Do not allow old, spoiled, or inedible foods to accumulate. The refrigerator shall be kept clean at all times. Stove. The stove is in the fire station requires continuous attention. Meat, juices, etc. baked on the oven over a period of time will be impossible to remove. The cleaning of the oven once a month with a spray type oven cleaner is recommended. Do not use any caustic spray type oven cleaner on any part of the outside of the stove. Burner plates, grates, and boiler pans may be covered with aluminum foil to facilitate cleaning. Access to the burner plates may be gained by raising the sides of the burner opposite the electrical connection. Oven cleaner will discolor floor coverings. Be sure to cover the floor around the stove before spraying oven cleaner in the oven. If floor covering is discolored, damage will be charged to the residents. Sinks and dishes. Dirty dishes will not be allowed to set. Dishes and sink must be cleaned immediately after use. Plumbing repairs. Lavatory sinks, toilets, and all water plumbing apparatus shall be used only for the purpose of which they are constructed. No sweepings, rubbish, rags, ashes, or other substances will be thrown herein. Any damage to such apparatus, including the cost of repair and cost of clearing, stopping, plumbing, resulting from misuse by a resident, shall be borne by the resident. Carpet stains. Immediately report any carpet stains to the district office. Draperies. Unless the resident has received express permission from the fire chief, all draperies and window coverings placed in the station shall have a white backing. In the event the use of foil, laminates, or paints on the window is strictly prohibited. Should attaching of draperies or other window treatment require the use of fixtures not already in the fire station, the resident shall first obtain the consent of the fire chief to the means, method, and manner of attachment. Pictures and wall decorations. Do not hang pictures or wall decorations by the use of substances which adhere to the wall, such as paste-type wall hanging or tape. For hanging pictures or other wall decorations, use only picture-hanging nails, tacks, pins, or small screws. Residents must obtain the approval of the fire chief before hanging or installing large or heavy items, such as hanging lamps or prints. Telephone writing and telephone jacks are not permitted to be installed in locations other than those provided without prior approval of the fire chief. Wallpaper in residents' rooms will not be permitted. The fire chief must approve wallpaper in other areas in advance. Antennas. No antenna or wire of any kind are to be installed in or on the fire station to erect any part of on the premises without prior approval of the fire chief. Vehicles. Minor mechanical repairs and maintenance to personal vehicles may be performed on the grounds, provided the same does not inconvenience other firefighters, district operation, or place apparatus in an undesirable location or environment. No major repairs will be allowed. No automobiles, trucks, campers, trailers, cycles, boats, etc., which do not have current safety inspections and current tags are to be kept in the area of the premises. The district reserves the right to have towed at residents' expense any improperly parked vehicle. Personal vehicles will not be housed or stored in the fire station without prior approval of the fire chief. Residents' vehicles shall not be parked in spaces reserved for responding firefighters or guests at the station, with spaces designated for same. The fire district shall not be responsible for any damage to or loss of any vehicle stored or parked on the premises, nor for any property in or on such vehicle. Phones and messages. Please notify your friends that the fire district does not give out station or member phone numbers. The fire district will not take personal messages unless emergency in nature for station residents. Residents are responsible for all of their personal long-distance phone calls. All long-distance calls must be logged on the district telephone log sheet. If long-distance charges are made on the fire district phone, residents must reimburse the fire district by the 10th day of the following month. Beds. A resident shall provide with beds. Any and all damages occurring to the fire station beds will result in the firefighter paying for the damage. Beds should be kept in an orderly fashion at all time. Pets. No pets will be allowed. Personal property. Personal property must be kept in the residence quarters except for kitchen and bathroom necessities. Personal furniture may be placed in the living area with the fire chief's permission. It is recommended that storage space be rented for items that will not fit in the residence quarters. It is recommended that the residence quarters be closed when not occupied. The district is not responsible for damage to personal property or loss of the same. Guests. Guests are permitted in the fire station when accompanied by a member of the fire district. Guests in the resident areas will not be allowed between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. without permission of the fire chief. Occupancy. Sleeping rooms shall only be occupied by one person when the door is closed. Common facilities. It should be known all areas of the fire station except sleeping units are common areas, including bathrooms, except where individuals' facilities are provided. Common areas shall be shared by male and female. Alcohol. The presence and or consumption of alcoholic beverages in the fire station is strictly prohibited. Operation of fire district vehicle under the influence of alcohol will be subject to disciplinary action. An individual who, while under the influence of alcohol, causes a problem, whether in the station or on an accident scene, will also be subject to disciplinary actions. Violations. Violation of these rules or violation of federal, state, county, municipal, or ordinances will be just cause for immediate dismissal from the fire station residency program. Termination of residency. The fire district, with or without cause, may terminate residencies at any time by giving 30 days notice to a resident.